Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another episode of the Weekly Dose. So today we're going to talk about the Capitol attack and other stuff that's happening. So yeah, let's get started.
Hey guys, hope everyone's doing well in light of all these events. So, uh, Yash, you want to tell us a little about like what happened at the U.S. Capitol building last week?
Yeah, sure. So basically, the Congress was certifying the election and making Joe Biden as the new president, just like certifying him as the new president. And Trump, like, this was like Trump's last chance to, maybe somehow change the election results. So he told his supporters to go to the Capitol, and they all did. And they got a little crazy and stormed the Capitol. So yeah, but and Trump and like the Trump tweeted for them to like cooperate with the police and stuff, but he never told them to leave. He was like, cooperate, don't hurt anyone, but he never told them to leave. And Mike Pence was like the first one to actually say, yeah, leave, get out of there and stuff.
Yeah, I heard after all of that, Trump got banned from Twitter and from
Yeah,
Spotify.
he's like still banned. Like he cannot do like some things.
Yeah, it how like the United States is considered a democracy and we all have the right and the freedom of speech. We can do whatever we want. It's a free country, right? So I think all of these people who just marched into the Capitol, like their idea was like, it's a democracy. I can do whatever I want. I have the freedom of speech. But you march into the building that literally represents democracy
Yeah,
and kind of like just take it over. So to me, the irony in that is just, it's kind of funny.
yeah, and the people who took over the Capitol, they think that they're patriots.
That's what I'm saying, right?
And
Like,
like they were sitting on like the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi's like desk, going through her stuff, taking photos with the statues, and like on like the Mike Pence's seat. I mean, it's just crazy. Like, what are you thinking? But I think Congress like did one thing right. Like right after they got everybody out of the Capitol, they like went like just back into session. So it showed American strength.
okay, so the thing is like, I think the Congress, like, after that and the way, like, everyone saw how Trump handled that, right? And there were even like some Republicans who, were like, okay, yeah, we disagree with the way Trump handled things. And Congress went into session, but then they like kind of just left. I felt like that was a good opportunity to talk about like, hey, what the president did was not okay. Like this, like it's technically a crisis situation and no one knew like how to handle it.
Yeah,
No one knew who to call. People were like, do we wait on Mike Pence? Do we wait on Trump? Like, what do we do?
and like when they stormed the Capitol, they requested for a National Guard, but the Pentagon refused. Like they denied the request, and it took like 2 more hours for the FBI agents, like the FBI and the National Guard together. Like, what were they doing? Like,
That's
what
what yeah,
happened
exactly.
during the BLM protest? Like, they were ready.
Right. So, like, them going into session, I just feel like for what? Like, what did that establish? I feel like they should have stayed in session, discussed that, hey, it's not okay for Trump to handle this situation this way. He is the leader of the free world. He should be leading. But then
Yeah,
again, I also feel like, oh, there's only like 10 days left. Like, who's going to do all that work to get him,
I
in.
mean, Trump did like lose a lot of supporters. Like when the Congress like went back into session, like some of the Republicans set out like we're going to like object this election at first, but after the riots and the storming of the Capitol, they're like changing their decision and accepting Joe Biden as the president. And
Yeah,
like, after that,
I
like Trump also said that he's like accepting his defeat. That even though like he still thinks that it's not a fair election, but he
I
was
just
okay, yeah, like now we let to like the Congress has like already certified Joe Biden as the president, so I'm going to accept that. But he said that it's like his start of the journey, so he might run again in 2024.
Yeah, I heard he said that too. I just find it so like disheartening that a capital attack is what it took for some Republicans to accept that Trump is not the next elected president. Like, why was it this that, caused people to believe?
Yeah, I mean, I guess like the Republicans, they were just trying to like somehow find a way. Like I think Trump, as a president, he was just like trying to lead his party to like somehow get a way to secure a presidency. Like fine.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It was
Yeah.
like, did you hear like the call, like the release call where like Trump says, "I need these 11,000 votes. Like do whatever you have to do to get these votes."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think like I get that the Republicans like did not agree with the Democrats before that, but the storming of the Capitol like definitely brought the country together
Yeah,
a little bit.
a little bit. Or divided it. I don't think we'll see the results until Biden is in the office, see how these Trump supporters react.
Yeah, Nancy Pelosi and other Democrats, they were talking about impeaching Trump. Like even like for like the last 10 days he was in the office.
Yeah,
You cannot like stay in the office for like another even like another day. So they were all like urging Mike Pence to start the impeachment process, because if Mike Pence says that he wants to impeach Trump and like 13 cabinet members agrees with him, then Trump is out.
yeah,
Nancy Pelosi said if like Mike Pence doesn't do it, then we'll do it. And however, they can still impeach Trump in the House, but they can't like convict him in the Senate because they don't have the majority.
right.
They can still control it. But if the Georgia results, like they sworn in the new senators from Georgia, then the Democrats will have the majority, and they can impeach and convict Trump before the end of his presidency, before
Mm-hmm.
inauguration day. But I don't think that they're going to like do that anymore, because Trump said that he's going to like accept the Joe Biden as the president.
Well,
Where was the National Guard and where were everybody else?
well, the National Guard. So I think the whole situation with the National Guard was like the Pentagon said no, but people didn't know like who was supposed to call them. Like, does the president call them? Like, does the president have the authority to call them? If the president doesn't call them, will Mike Pence call them? Like, no one knew how to
Yeah,
get the National Guard there. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that whole time, all that time spent on like trying to figure out who calls them, that shouldn't happen in a crisis.
yeah. Even though like even though there were like no riots or like no protests or anything, there like still should be like some backup plan, like just in case something goes south.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think it just like makes us look weaker in the eyes of the world. Like everyone was like the world was laughing at us that day. That whoa, the U.S. who's like the big dog of the world.
I think they started laughing about that the way we handled COVID. I think now, everyone, like, how the American dream has been such a big thing. I just feel like that's not the case anymore, because this whole event was kind of symbolizing how maybe this is not a democracy.
Yeah,
So why would, you want to come here?
that is true. And the immigration laws that the Trump administration implemented,
Exactly.
they were like a religious bias, like stricter laws against Muslims.
Yes.
I don't think that's fair, but like blacklisting certain countries.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a crazy world. I was talking to a colleague of mine today, and he went he had gone to law school, and he like dropped out halfway because he was like, lawyers are liars, I'd rather do medicine, right? And he said one of the first things he learned in law school was this: power is corruption, no matter, like, it can be any form of power,
100%.
but any form of power is corruption. And he was saying, like, Donald Trump, his whole life has had power, so everything he does is corrupt.
I mean, you look at like any country in the world, there has to be like some sort of corruption. Like if they have power,
Yes.
like any politician who is like
I feel
got to
like
like a high level
yeah, I think he was like
place.
trying to say it doesn't even have to apply to like politics. Even at like your workplace, someone in a higher position is somehow corrupt, because they're going to have that, internal feeling of, oh my gosh, I'm in charge of this,
Yeah,
so every decision they make is going to be like, I still want to be in charge, so
kind of
what do
like
I do?
human behavior.
Exactly. So it's kind of, and I think he was saying, like, how do you work around the corruption part? Like, someone has to be in charge, right? Otherwise it's just chaos. So how do you work around it being corrupted? And he was saying, like, that power has to be distributed among the community, so people who have power and are humble usually have, like, people doing their other tasks.
Yeah,
And Trump has always, like, in his whole election, as you see, has always tried to do everything himself. He writes his own speeches, he tweets out his own words, so just something to think
I
about, I
think that
guess.
the American like election system just sucks. Like it just doesn't work. Why are we still using electoral college and stuff? Like it doesn't make sense. I
It
know it's
worked.
like that it made sense like in the 1800s, 1700s, but it doesn't
Yeah.
make sense now. People are like more educated. They know like who to vote for. I think if like everyone just like voted for the president, like whoever they want to vote for the president, without like all this electoral college stuff, that would be like great. Like no states or nothing. Just count your just the majority person wins, not the majority of the person with the electoral votes win.
Yeah, take out all the complications, go back to
Yeah,
basics, make it simple type thing.
yeah,
Wouldn't that be nice?
this or that.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to add about the Capitol attack?
No, not really. I think everyone knows how it
Yeah.
was. Sad day.
Sad day
That should have
for
never happened.
the whole. I feel like lately every day there's something happening in this country.
Yeah, 2020 and 2021 is like off to like a worse start than 2020.
Yeah, are you sure? What was the start in 2020? I thought we were
It was
like
the Australian fires.
the fires, and then there was like
Yeah,
a World War III scare. Remember?
yeah, it was, but like it was like in the end of January and stuff, but not
Mm.
January.
Yeah.
And I saw it online somewhere, like an old book. Like it's kind of like The Simpsons, but it talks about all these events happening, like Trump becoming the president and Mike Pence
Mhm.
as the vice president, like literally like to the detail. Like, this book was written like 100 or 150 years ago by
Oh wow.
by like Trump's grandfather or great grandfather or something like that. And then he put the exact coordinates of the Trump Tower and the name of the vice president. And he also like wrote about the storming of the Capitol. And then in the end, it says that the White House before the inauguration day is gonna like blown up to the pieces. I hope that doesn't happen.
Okay, first of all,
It
who
might
wrote
be
this
false.
book, and is he a time traveler who came
If
back?
if this happens, then it's proven that time travel is real.
It has to be, right? Like by this
Yeah.
book, if you wrote it to that detail and then this last thing happens, it's like, okay, clearly
Let me
he
try to
tried to tell
find it
us
if I can find the.
name of the book.
Yeah, I found the book. I found the video. I didn't.
This book was written in the 1800s, okay, 200 years ago. And the title of the book is Travels and Adventures of Little Baron Trump. Baron Trump is Trump's son's name right now, real life. Anyways, there's 3 books to the series. The last book in the series is called The Last President, okay, which predicted the riots. It has the exact coordinates of the Trump Tower. It says that man gets elected president. No one thought he would be president. And then there's upheaval, right? Russia is in the book. Pence is in the book. The amount of coincidences is unreal. This was actually stored in our congressional library, and a few years ago it blew up on social media, and they actually released it to the public, so now you can order it and read it. Anyways, on Inauguration Day, shit gets wild, and people are so upset about what happens, they blow up the White House with dynamite in this. So that's coming up. We'll find out if it's a coincidence or if time travel's real. But this is unbelievable.
If this happens, it's proof that time travel is real.
Yeah. And you can put the title of the book in the description box if you go check it out. But that's crazy. So let's talk about that. The last thing that happens is blowing up the White House. But okay, so first of all, she said that this book was in the congressional library. So I feel like, the government knows that.
Yeah.
So if they are superstitious or do believe that this book, is predicting everything, I feel like on the last day of inauguration, they would have a lot of security around the White House.
If you guys want to go check out that book, you can. It's in the description, the name.
Mm-hmm. Time traveling might actually be real.
All right, guys, so that's it for this week's podcast. Like, share, and subscribe. And if you guys have any thoughts for like what our next video should be, just comment down below. Mega, you want to add something?
Yeah, and comment, about your thoughts about this event and everything going on in the country. I'd like to know your thoughts as well.
All right, see you guys next week.
Bye.
Peace.